Oh, it's not a cut. That's a slice.
Now this is a quack hook.
Oh,
Short
wow.
and into the right rough, headed to the trees.
Oh my, that's a shank. He decided to re-tee, that's a shank. Oh man.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Two-Way Miss podcast. Thank you for joining us wherever and whenever you are, as we've had a slight hiatus, which you can blame me for because I went on vacation for a week, which I haven't taken in about 3.5 years, so you'll forgive me if I decided to get away for a week. But we are back. We got plenty to talk about. Happy to be back and to see the good buddy Banksy yet again. Banksy, how you been doing, pal?
Doing well. Just battling the heat up here and just trying to keep the golf game in good shape as the season for me anyway, starts to come to an end here. So, yeah, I'm doing well. Good to see you again.
Good. It's good to see you too. I, of course, missed you. And everyone out there listening, we appreciate you hanging in with it. But again, like I said, I haven't taken a vacation in 3.5 years, so I was out.
Well deserved.
Yeah,
off
thank
grid.
you very much.
Off grid.
I literally did. Yeah, I didn't look at anything for a couple days. I just looked at Twitter and Instagram just to pass time. But
good for you.
yes, I enjoyed it very much. So we got some good stuff to talk about tonight. Let's get into it. Let's get into the Open Championship. So we had our little preview, and again, this is why you don't bet on the people that we tell you to pick on this podcast. But we didn't really think Cam was going to come out of nowhere.
Just go against everything we say.
Yep, you'll win. I think at this point, you'll be great.
Because once again, you specifically said Cam Smith. I said, nope.
Yep. This is why we're not a betting podcast. So he sort of spoils what most people wanted to happen, which was the Rory, win finally by shooting a back 930.
Oh my gosh. 5 birdies in a row
In the final round of the Open Championship at St. Andrews.
Coming back from an over par round on Saturday.
Yep.
Come on. There's no way this is going to happen on Sunday. He's in control of his game. He's got everything working for him. He's supposed to win.
He just couldn't make any putts. He couldn't make any putts. The ball would not go in the hole.
And you wonder what his mindset was going in, right? Not that he's not trying to make putts, but you have that mindset. I play 2-3 under par. Piece of cake. I got this in the bag.
I think in the takes that have come out in the past couple of weeks about the tournament, I think I agree that it was one of those things that, of course, is a cliche in sports, but he was playing not to lose. Mm-hmm. He wasn't playing necessarily ultra conservative, but he certainly wasn't flying at flags like Cam Smith was, and sort of and he wasn't pulling off the shots he had been pulling off all week. Rory McIlroy played great finally at a major. Finally put it all together for 4 rounds. And look, sometimes you're going to get beat by a guy who shoots a 30 on the back 9.
Yeah. And
there's just nothing you can do about it, because it wasn't just one Cam, it was several who decided to just, Cameron Young had a back 931. So it wasn't even like Rory went out and shot 2 under. Like you said, he came out, says, I have to shoot 2-3 under and I should be all right. There's no bogeys on the card. Not a single bogey for Rory McIlroy on the card. And you just got beat is all that happened. And sometimes in sports, it's going to happen.
And more often, if that kind of stuff is going to happen, golf is when it's going to happen, because as good as these guys are, and it's so unpredictable, you just never know.
Yeah.
And again, Cam Smith coming off an over par round on Saturday.
Right.
And then just goes nuts on the back 9 Sunday and comes away with a claret jug.
This is just one of he obviously ruined the storyline for everyone. Everyone had wanted Rory to win.
And Cam Smith's a likable guy, but he's not Rory.
Yeah, and he's not Rory in Scotland at St. Andrews.
Yeah.
You could see the fans. Like, did you see the one video of the kid behind him on like the 17th or 18th tee? I think it was the road hole. And he's like literally like this. The kid's like closing his eyes and got his fingers crossed. Just like, come on, Rory. Like, everyone in the crowd wanted Rory to win that tournament. And
Yeah, my dad has everything riding on this, Rory.
we won't eat tonight.
We don't eat tonight, Rory.
That could have been what it was, to be fair. But
Maybe the kid was up on the trading block.
yeah, right. Look, could he have seen what was happening and tried to get a little more aggressive? Yes. He just couldn't. He left himself too many putts that were too long, if that makes sense. He was leaving himself 15 footers all day long, but you're just not gonna make them all the time. And this was one of those days where none of them went in.
And it happened so fast. I mean, can't just birdie.
Oh, just
birdie.
Yep.
Birdie. It just all of a sudden it's like, it's not like, birdie, par, birdie. It was birdie.
Right, that's
birdie,
what
birdie.
he did on the front nine, right? Par, birdie's the second, birdie's the fifth, and then par's out the rest of the way.
Right, and Cam just
And then
throws
just makes the turn and kicks on the afterburners.
It was crazy to watch, and then has to sink a 12-footer for par on 17, and
That's where you kind of were like, okay,
drops it in, right?
putts it around the road hole bunker.
Yeah.
Slings it up that slope to get it to go a little bit towards the hole and makes that par putt. And then you were just kind of like, okay, this is how it's going to be.
That was it.
No one's going to chase him down. And then again, the guy he's right next to him shoots 31 on the back. Eagles the last hole. Just plays unbelievable.
Cameron Young,
Yeah.
big hitter.
I don't know. They should play together all the time if they're both going to play like this. But
Yeah.
I don't know if there's too much more to say about the Rory thing. You can't really get on him. Like, no, he didn't go out and make a bunch of birdies to win the tournament. But he also didn't give it away. Like, to shoot a bogey-free 2 under on the Sunday of a major championship is not a bad thing, especially when you're in the lead like he was. So you can't say he gave it away. You might be able to say that he sort of didn't fight as hard for it as he could have, but he certainly didn't give it away. He didn't blow this one.
Yeah. Well, my concern with Rory is we've been waiting so long, I feel like, for him to start playing well in majors, and not one round, not 2 rounds, but apologize for that. Excuse me.
Bless you.
But to put multiple rounds together in these big tournaments, and now here we are. It seems like it's been taking Rory a long time to get revved up. So now we have this long break. I know we have the FedEx stuff, but we have this long break till the Masters next year's majors. Is Rory going to be able to carry the momentum from the Open and some of the other tournaments he's played well in, however many months down the road till April, to where he can come out and give us a good showing at Augusta, where I feel like it just takes him. It's been taking him so long to get in a groove. I would hope that he would put the time in this off season to just be sharp for the beginning of the season, next season. Like, don't stop practicing.
Yeah.
Try, find some competitive outlets to play in and keep practicing and getting better, and just come out next season when he starts, and just like play like we know you can play. I hope that's the Rory we see at the start of next season, as opposed to having to wait for him to finally, turn it on and string some good rounds of golf together.
Yeah, it's a positive. I mean, he's obviously going to be disappointed. He said as much. But at least he can look back at this and say, well, I didn't blow it again. I didn't, shoot 3 over to lose the lead. Did I not maybe be as aggressive as I needed to? Sure. But you just got chased down by a historic back 9 of golf. And, sometimes there's nothing you can do but tip the cap to the guy and keep on moving. So I think it's positive things for him to at least take away from it. And look, I mean, Cam Smith came out of the gate playing well, won those 2 tournaments in Hawaii right off the jump. Kind of went away for a while, didn't really show in most of the majors.
Won the players.
Right, also won the players, thank you. But just when this dude starts feeling it, it's just there's just no fear. He's shooting at everything.
Yep.
And might be the best putter on the planet right now.
In
with
spurts,
the way he's playing.
Yeah.
And it's again not someone that even after those wins we maybe said is going to win a major. I think we said the same thing about Scotty Scheffler too, but look, both of those guys got it done. They figured, they went out and won those tournaments. I don't know if Cam Smith is now going to reel off 3 majors in the next 3 years, especially because there's rumors that he's going to live. So who knows if he'll have the chance anymore. But do we think that this continues? Do we think that Cam Smith come Augusta next year, or the US Open or the PGA or even the Open Championship again? Do we think we'll give him any sort of chance, or will we have to just wait and see?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's hard for us to say anything because it seems like whatever we do say, the opposite happens.
Well, there you go. We're going to give people betting tips for next year.
Cam, he's been so sporadic where he wins a tournament and then either doesn't play or doesn't show out, and then all of a sudden he's in a tournament again, and then honestly after Saturday, you didn't look like he had a chance. He was over par on Saturday, and then to come back and do what he needed to do on Sunday was incredible. And again, these guys are just so good. At any point in time, when one of these higher tiered players gets in a groove, anything could happen. And he got in a groove. He started, nice wide fairways. You don't have to, I know there's a lot of bunkers and a lot of areas you have to miss, but for, wide fairways at St. Andrews, which is good for Cam Smith. We saw that at Hawaii to start the season.
Yep.
Huge fairways, you're free swinging off the tee. And then once he starts rolling in putts, just anything could happen. Like a 30 on the back 9 of a major on a Sunday.
They need to figure out how to put those NBA Jam flames behind him when he starts putting like that.
So, going into the FedEx Cup playoffs, that's really all that's left for this season. We'll see how he performs in there. I don't know where he is on the list. He's got a lot of ground
In
make
terms
up.
of the FedEx Cup?
Yeah, I think Scheffler's got like some stupid crazy lead.
Yep, Scheffler's up by like 1,200 points. He's in second,
Yeah.
though.
But if he does head to live, then you won't have to worry about
That's right.
FedEx Cup points, and then you can go to live and not give a shit about anything. You just gotta.
Yep, we'll see if that happens. But listen, he's had a great season to top it off with a major. Just sort of what's the word I'm looking for? It just wraps up all the wins from the beginning, even the players. You win the players and it's a tough tournament. Obviously the field is really great. So that one validated is what I was looking for. Validates those wins at the beginning. And then you could say that this major win sort of validates that players championship, that
Sure.
he kind of hit all the boxes this year.
Yeah.
He didn't only win once, he won twice. He wins the players, which is a step up from the regular tournaments, and then wins a major, which is a step up from the players. He's kind of had an unbelievable season.
Right.
And
I mean, that's what is it between him and Scheffler right now for player of the year?
I mean, it has to be.
Depending on how the FedEx.
Well, Scotty's won what, 5 times this year?
He has, yeah. But if Cam would somehow pull out the FedEx Cup, that's good. It's got to come.
I think it's certainly those two. You'd have to minus, whatever happens in the FedEx playoffs. I don't know who I would give it to. Minus FedEx Cup tournaments. Who do you think you would give it to?
Minus FedEx Cups, I think it's Scheffler just for the consistency piece of it.
Okay.
But you look at those 2 tournaments or 3 tournaments, those 3 bigger tournaments, 2 really big tournaments Cam won, and then if you could throw the FedEx Cup in there somehow, if he would pull that out, I'd lean more towards.
Yeah, I think I'm with that.
More towards Cam.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it's certainly a toss up at this point, but I think, like you said, depending on how each of them do, that'll kind of shake out. I'm sure how that vote goes. But
yeah. And before we move off the Open, thoughts on Tiger. That was not in any way how I thought that was going to go.
No, it wasn't
for him. I was really surprised at how poorly he played.
I think this is just, for me, I agree with you. We're always going to think that he is going to play better than I'm sure he will play for the rest of his time.
Right. And I agree with that.
But I think that it just, for me, what it did is it really captured how much of how it's going to be such a lightning in the bottle moment if he ever contends again. I'm not saying he'll never make another cut or anything like that, because I think he's shown that he can make cuts, even in the hardest tournaments the entire year, that he can play well enough to, make a cut. I think this one, being at the end of the season, he obviously prepared for it enough. I just think I think there was I don't know how decent of a break it was, but he came off the PGA Championship like hurting. Like, really, I can't imagine he did a lot in between getting done with that tournament and then getting to Scotland the week early to do all the stuff he did there.
Yeah.
And he didn't get the best breaks, obviously going in the divot and all that stuff. But he obviously he wasn't sharp either. His distance control was terrible. Driver, I don't know. I don't even remember. Like, it was just not great. But for me, it was the distance control and the putting that were just bad.
Yeah, it just he he just didn't look good from a golf standpoint. I
Yeah.
mean, physically,
I mean, this
it
was going to be the
seemed
easiest walk for him.
physically he seemed okay.
Yeah.
The golf was bad.
Yeah. And I
And
think,
and who knows? He could be. You never know with him. Is he tweaking a swing right now? Has he got a new swing thought? You know, all indications is obviously not a full season next year, but
mhm.
I guess his caddy Joey LaCava said like, "Hey, listen, we're working on his game. He's working on his game. We're looking at hopefully 3 or 4 starts before Augusta next year. So all plans are to play. So
I just think for this one, I just don't think I think we saw in this one that it really was when you don't play in enough tournaments, your game isn't dialed for tournament play.
yeah, but
And I think with the low
you're
numbers
right.
that they were shooting, with how low like the scores were and how low the cut was going to be. I mean, again, he scored a little bit in the other majors. He's kind of done what he's had to do.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to be in contention,
Yeah.
but I was very surprised he didn't make the cut. And I was very surprised at how bad the golf was. Regardless of what he's feeling physically. The golf was bad, and you know, I watched the charity event that he was in the 2 weeks before, and I know that's, you know, those guys are just dicking around hitting shots, and he looked really bad in that as well. But you take that with a grain of salt because it's a charity thing. You're just having fun.
I don't think we can count out the fact that he can't practice the way he used to. He can't be out there grinding all day playing, 36 holes. He's not doing that to get ready for these tournaments.
Right.
And so when you don't
So
do
you
that,
weren't-
I know he's
you
Tiger
weren't
Woods.
surprised?
No, I was, because of course I'm going to keep up hope that he makes the cut and at least looks okay.
Yeah.
But this is just sort of reflection after the fact that the expectations are just so high all the time that he's just not at a point in his golf career that he's going to meet them all the time. And making the cut in the first 3 majors, I think we can look back at that and think how unbelievable that was, considering what he had to put his body through to do it. And I think what he did at St. Andrews is unfortunately the norm that we have to get used to now. We're just going to have to be okay just seeing him out there, and hopefully during his couple rounds he pulls off something Tiger-esque, some great wedge shot or some putt. He gives us a fist bump, and that's just how it has to be now. It's just not going to be him going out and shooting 65 every day.
Right. I think the golf's going to be better.
I'm not saying it can't be.
I do. I think as appreciative as he was and as happy and cordial he was, like in his interviews and press he was pissed that he was pissed that he played that bad. So I
he
think,
wasn't expecting to not be there on the weekend.
Right. So
For sure.
so I mean, I guess we can plan on seeing him in December at the PNC.
Yeah.
Father, I'm excited to see Charlie too.
Yeah. Who knows how good he'll be now? Better
I'm
than me
assuming
already, so.
I'm assuming that's the next time we'll see
I'm sure. I don't see him coming back for anything else.
Tiger Woods playing
Does his tournament happen before that or after that?
You know what, it does. Yeah, so we'll see him. Yeah, so in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll play.
Yeah.
in that. So, but yeah, all right. That was just a quick side
No,
note
it's
because
a good
I
it's
feel
a
like
good thing we had to talk about him.
he deserves the mention, and hopefully next
Always.
time we talk about his golf game, it'll be a little sharper than it was at St. Andrews.
We will continue to keep our fingers crossed for him. Always rooting for Tiger on this podcast. All right, let's talk about our boy Tony. Mr. Back to Back, as he'd like to be known now. I just made that up.
Mr. Freaking Finally is like, it's about damn time.
Yeah. Look, I know we rag on guys like Finau or Xander or stuff like that, but the reason we rag on them so much is because they're always so close and they never seem to be able to close it out.
So talented.
So it's not that this is like the most unexpected win ever, because of course you expected Tony Finau to win. He just hadn't done it yet. And so to pull off back-to-back wins is crazy. It's really good. It's, it's great. And I don't think it translates to a major win anytime soon, but I'm happy for him. I'm glad he figured it out.
Yeah, there's too much time in between because we've seen time and time again these guys get hot and then all of a sudden they're not. So who knows what his game is going to look like by next spring? But right now, finally, like, you're too talented not to win golf tournaments.
Yeah.
It's about time.
For
and
sure.
again, the FedEx Cup playoffs are fun. They tweak it. They seem to make it better every year, and it's nice because these guys have to play.
Yeah.
Every week, right? So like, we get to see them play for consecutive weeks, which I think is the best part for me, because you want to see these guys play.
Mm-hmm.
And the FedEx Cup, the way it's set up is, as long as they make it through to the next round, they have to play every week, other than, they get a week off here and there to recoup. But so yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the FedEx Cup playoffs because I think there's a lot of guys. It's just gonna come down to who's hot at that particular moment.
Yeah, and we're not going to see a lot of these guys until then. So
Right.
We're not going to have sort of any tournament reference for how well they're playing besides Finau.
It starts next week. The St. Jude Classic is next week. So
they've been taken off since the Open.
Yeah.
They went on vacation or haven't been playing for the past couple weeks. So Tony will be the hottest one going in there.
Yeah, but it's about. I'm happy for Tony. I like Tony. I've dogged him several times on here for not winning more. So going back to back just makes me shut up for a little while.
There you go. Good job, Tony. You did it, bud. All right. So I'm glad we brought up Tiger at least once, because now we can talk about the sort of the news that came out per Greg Norman that Tiger turned down an offer between $700 and $800 million to play on the Live Tour. If there's ever been a bigger middle finger to Greg Norman or the Saudi Arabian government, I think we can give it to Tiger Woods now. Because what athlete? Let's think of a list. What other athletes turn down that much money in this situation? Is there any other golfer that does it? Let's start there, since this is a golf podcast. We'll start there.
Any other golfer?
Is there any other golfer that says no to $800 million?
Probably not. I mean, I don't know. Probably not.
You'd want to say maybe Spieth or Rory, but I don't know. That number is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, he's worth it. He's Tiger frickin' Woods. So
Yeah.
of course you're going to offer him as much money as possible. But just the fact that he put his balls on the table and was like, nope.
Yeah. Isn't it funny too? Like the guys that, the big guys that they did get, the Phils and the Dustins, the Brysons, if you want to throw him in there, and it's like, yeah, hey, you guys are great. We're gonna offer this guy
Yeah.
3 times as much money
because 4 of you put together aren't worth
Yeah.
as much as he is.
Yeah. So just an astronomical amount of money. Just stupid. It's stupid money. Like it's ridiculous. And I know you can't even wrap your head around.
No, you can't. But if you ever needed another reason to call Tiger Woods the greatest of all time,
Yeah. Yeah.
the fact that he just put his middle finger up to these guys and was like, nope,
Yep.
you don't have enough to get me to do this.
And good for him.
I mean, yeah.
Like that's he's helping keep the PGA Tour afloat right now because this live thing is
Yeah, I hope Jay sent him a thank you card or something after he heard the number.
Yeah.
Shot him a text like, man, we really like,
Yeah.
oof.
Thumbs up emoji.
Yeah, right. Or just a big like thank you.
Yeah.
God, we love Tiger Woods. This is just put just one more feather in the cap of the man.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. And what do you think the reaction must have been from like Norman when Tiger's just like, no thanks, Greg?
Yeah.
I bet Tiger didn't even talk to him.
I know it's probably
He just sent Steiny, the agent, and like, sorry,
Yeah.
Greg. Nope. Tiger says no.
Yeah, he said no.
Yep. Doesn't even give him the dignity of actually speaking to him. God, it's good stuff. I'd love to like see those emails or, whatever it was when they finally made the offer and whatever the response was back. I'd love for those to be leaked somehow. It'd be great.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's just an unbelievable tidbit of information that came out a little earlier this week as Greg Norman and other golfers do the Tucker Carlson tour for some fucking reason, because apparently that's the guy you want to go talk to golf about. Like, and all Norman does is get on there and lie about shit because he has no idea what's happening. But anyway, in other news, you were supposed to go to the live event up in North Jersey. I know you said before we got started that, some things changed and you weren't able to make it up there, but you had a buddy of yours that went up there. So why don't you give the people a little preview of, what you heard about it, what he thought about it, give the people a little inside information from the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm still waiting on some more details. We'll try and get you those next week. But I did. I had a buddy go up on Sunday. Got some cool pictures and said it had a different feel to it. It's definitely looser, not your everyday golf crowd that you're necessarily used to. Probably a lot more drinking, a lot more, probably a lot more younger fan base. And it was up at Jersey, Trump National. So there were some rowdy fans. And they got, music blasting. They have concerts after the tournament for people to stick around and listen to. So it's a different feel for sure. And yeah, I won't go any further than that until I get some more details, but we'll be looking forward to hearing those next week and see what it was really like compared to being out at a regular tour event.
Yeah, I still don't care. Is that like
No,
I don't
I
care
don't
what
care either.
happens.
I don't care what happens.
None of it means
the,
anything.
And the more that I hear, the stats of some of these players and still what they're getting paid, it kind of pisses me off, and it should piss everybody. It should piss everybody else off too. Like, it's stupid. It's a joke. It's you can go out and play shitty golf because you don't have to practice. You don't have to do.
You don't have to try at all.
You don't. You can come out and play shit golf and walk away with 6 figures to play 3 rounds of shit golf.
Yeah.
And that's such a diss to the game. I think you should never be able to get paid exorbitant amount of money to be bad at what you do.
Yeah.
That's
especially when you want to call yourself a professional athlete. And that's supposed to epitomize the hard work and the dedication and the time that you have to put in and the effort that you have to put in to remain the best at your craft.
Right. And you're right. And the professional part is one thing, but then adding that extra word at the end, athlete, that is a whole nother level. Professional athlete, you're supposed to be the absolute best of the best of the best. And now
just
you're
constantly working your ass off to improve or maintain how good you are. It takes constant work and effort, and just doesn't exist.
Out there, it doesn't exist, and you're out there just like, I'm waiting for one of these guys to show up and be like, I'm going to play left-handed this weekend.
Yeah,
Just because it doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go on. I'm going to play like a one club today. Guys, I'm hitting 7-iron the entire tournament this weekend, because you know what? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's too much of a joke to be taken seriously.
Yeah, like all the stuff about rowdy fans and the concerts, like, you're just telling me that it's not about the golf.
It's not about golf at all. And it can't even be, can it even be that entertaining? Like, it's not.
No, because it means nothing.
Right.
It makes no difference if Brooks Koepka goes out and shoots 20 under or 20 over. It doesn't matter if you win the Live Invitational at Trump Bedminster. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, congratulations, you went out and beat a bunch of guys who aren't trying.
Right,
like,
here's another $5 million.
Good for you.
Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. So it will just never be serious, and it will never.
I haven't watched the very first tournament in London.
I watched a little bit of that.
I watched maybe 4 minutes of it.
Yeah, I haven't turned it on since.
And honestly, I would just rather go back and watch replays of
all day.
Past PGA tournaments.
There's plenty of YouTube videos that we can watch that'll be more exciting.
It's just a joke, and I don't think it's innovative. I don't think it's creative. I don't think it's just a joke. It's stupid.
Yeah. Well, we have to continue to talk about it because the Stenson thing happens. He joins Liv.
Ryder Cup.
He's taken out as the captain of the Ryder Cup, showing that he truly never cared that much.
Yeah.
This continues to sort of show the true colors of these guys.
Yeah, and I think even, and again, because legal stuff is going to happen. I think it's already in the works. I
think they've already put in the lawsuit.
And that's the thing. Like, they're forced to be able to come back onto tour, or forced to be able to be eligible for the Ryder Cup. Like, it's going to be bad for the game.
And who's going to take you seriously on that team as the captain now?
Yeah, when
Like,
you
you think that
bail,
Rory and Rahm, you know, or Cam Smith, if he stays on the PGA Tour, like, he might feel a little bit better since he might be going there. But you think the guys who are staying on are going to respect you or want to play with the other guys who went over? Like, is Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth and Morikawa going to want to play with DJ and Koepka and Bryson? Like, especially now after the lawsuit?
yeah,
Like, it's not just they went over and took the money and, all right, listen, I might not agree with you, but listen, I can't tell you what to do, and it's all good. But now you're suing me and the tour that gives me my livelihood because you went over and took a bunch of money and now, like, want to play both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine the relationships aren't the same. They're just not.
shouldn't be.
Yeah. And so it's just going to lead to that tournament being like, if they are eligible to play in the Ryder Cup, it's going to make that event that much worse.
Yeah,
I'd rather see 3 college kids come up and play the Ryder Cup.
yeah. It's gonna be a ugly distraction.
Yeah.
Because these this team effort, this camaraderie is going to be so tainted with dollars and dirty money.
Yeah. It's just continuing to dilute golf as a whole and to make everything around it worse.
And the more the more I think about it and the more that I see some of these players just playing god awful golf,
Yeah.
still getting the money that they're getting, it's so discouraging, and it's not right. And you're right, especially as a so-called professional athlete, to play just 100% for the money. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Well, let's look at the next couple stops for our PGA Tour. Like you said, we're getting into playoff time here. So we've got Wyndham Championship coming up this weekend. Northern Trust after that. BMW Championship, Tour Championship. So it's the last 4 events of the quote-unquote season.
Yeah.
FedEx Cup playoffs. We'll be looking forward to seeing who, coming off of a break and coming off of that open sort of couple weeks, who can continue to play well. If Tony continues to step up, if someone comes out of nowhere and starts playing well, it'll be interesting to follow along with and see who comes out on top for that, what now seems very little amount of money in the $10 million that you win,
I think did they double it again?
Did they do it again?
They might have doubled it. I don't know. I don't think it's more than 10.
Who knows? Let's look it up real quick.
Yeah, you got to put us all in perspective, folks. There's still, these guys aren't going home hungry. There's still a lot of money to be made.
Let's see.
I think they raised it.
They did it for next year.
Okay, maybe next year. Okay.
Yeah. It's 18.
Okay.
So up from 10.
Yep.
Oh, for 2022 and beyond. All right, so they did increase it for this year. There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
18 million. Crazy. That means nothing now.
Yeah, exactly.
But at least, like you said, we'll have most of the top guys playing every week. It's always good to just be able to see them play against each other. It'll be a welcome distraction from this live garbage.
Yeah.
We'll be back to our regularly scheduled weekly podcast. Nothing going on for the next couple of weeks. So we'll be on here to cover each of the tournaments coming up. We'll cover the Tour Championship and the eventual FedEx Cup winner. We'll see if our player of the year predictions come true, or how those two guys play the rest of the way. But thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you for hanging in there while I went on vacation. We appreciate everyone who reaches out and asks, where's the podcast? You know, are you guys okay? Is everything all right? Just, we appreciate you. We appreciate everyone listening or watching on the YouTube. 4 more subscribers to get to 25 on the YouTube channel. So we're up to 21, which is awesome. Very exciting stuff. So if you do want to click that red button right below the video, we appreciate it. It's free. You know, we do this for free. So follow along with us. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at the Two Way Miss, and then also Instagram B&B Podcasts. You can follow along for all the updates from us with the FedEx Cup playoffs coming up and the podcast. So we appreciate everyone listening, watching. Thanks for hanging in there with us, and we will be back next week, I promise. So have a good night, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, swing hard, everyone.
Oh, it's not a cut. That's a slice.
Now this is a quack hook.
Oh,
Short
wow.
and into the right rough, headed to the trees.
Oh my, that's a shank. He decided to re-tee. That's a shank.